Sassy Eliot. Girl!
It is the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. We're at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. 2026 snow day is every Tuesday. Chickies and Pete's snow crab legs for just $20.26 an order. Get details at chickiesandpete's.com. Joining us now, as he does every Friday at 3 o'clock, the great Eliot Shorr-Parks. ESP's call is brought to you by Robin Ford, online at robinford.com. There's no stopping the Robin. Hey, Eliot.
What up? How you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good, Eliot. Before we get to AJ, now you are part of the expert panel. How do you feel about the finals matchup between, now I don't want you to say who you voted for or anything like that, but the finals matchup obviously between Herb and Justin in Tennessee. How do you feel about the matchup?
Yeah, so I would say my first takeaway from it is you just feel awful for Corey. I feel like Corey really, should have won this, right? I think he was the favorite going into it. So you feel bad for him, but two great callers.
We know who we voted for.
Yeah, he made it pretty obvious there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard to talk about this without revealing who I voted for, but I do think the two final callers are obviously well worth it. Two callers, when they're on the air, you sit in the car and you listen to the rest of the call. So I'm excited to see who wins for sure.
Yeah, you're sitting in the car a lot longer for one of them than the other one, but that is for sure.
It's just good to see so many Go Birds callers represented.
I knew that's what he was going to say. I knew
to
that.
have Justin in the final, obviously, it's really proud to see our callers, making waves.
Well, now we know who we vote. Yeah, hold on. Did you vote for Justin or Corey?
I voted for Corey.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That'll be good drama tomorrow from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Well,
now, you guys.
The Phillies are on. So
Oh, yeah. The real team in town. Now, you guys don't take Herb in the Northeast call on Go Birds Radio?
He doesn't call. We would take him if he called him. But look,
I could see Seltzer not being a huge fan.
Well, I want to thank Eliot for being part of the expert panel. I can say this: Eliot voted without me having to remind him not once. So
what happened the first time? Didn't he? I thought something happened with him the first time.
No, he just didn't read the email correctly.
Yeah, he didn't read the email.
And then asked a question about the email.
Yes, but once he did that, everything was fine. So, and I do believe that any one of the Elite Eight, if they had made it to the final, I would have been fine with it. Ken from Cinnamin's miracle run would have been a great story as well. So, Eliot.
Another Go Birds caller.
Eliot, on to the second most important story of the day, which is A.J. Brown. It feels like we are coming to a head with the reports about it really just being the Patriots. There was a report from Diana Rossini earlier that maybe the Chargers are involved, but everybody else really just saying it's going to be the Eagles or the Patriots. I want to read something you posted earlier because I think you and Ike might be able to have an interesting conversation about this. This is what Eliot posted. If A.J. Brown wants to be traded to the Patriots, the Eagles should make it happen for him. He helped them win a Super Bowl. He's been a huge part of the best run in franchise history. It's his childhood team. Would be a classy move by the organization. Eliot, do you want to expound upon that before you guys discuss?
Childhood team.
Yeah. So this isn't an AJ specific thing. I believe when athletes reach a certain point in their career and they've accomplished a certain amount, they should be able to decide where they go. Like in the NBA, when a player like Damon Lillard comes to mind, he wanted to go to the Heat. I think the Blazers should have worked with him to get him to the Heat. So with AJ obviously wanting out, I think it's safe to say he would like to play for the Patriots. I'm not saying they should trade him there for a fifth, but I think they should do what they can to help him get to the Patriots. He has helped them win a Super Bowl. He's been maybe the best receiver in franchise history, certainly on the short list. And I think that's how people should treat their employers. Like I think we should all treat people how we would want to be treated, and I think in AJ's situation, he has accomplished enough where he should get to dictate where he goes.
Yeah, this is the most asinine thing I think I've ever heard. I'll say this. A lot of what you said is absolutely true as far as AJ and what he's done in the Eagles uniform. I got no qualms about that. If this was, AJ late in his career and the Eagles weren't a contending team and they wanted to send a veteran somewhere that he can go and contend late in his career, and he had a specific spot that's near and dear to his heart that could be a good story for him, the way to end his career, I could sort of understand that if that were the case, but that's not the case here. And by all accounts, including your accounts, the Eagles don't want to trade A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. They don't want to trade A.J. Brown. So what it tells me is that this is more or less A.J. pushing to be traded, and really the Eagles are trying to acquiesce even by trading him. Now, I think it just works out that New England is a team that needs a wide receiver. Also works out that it happens to be his quote-unquote childhood team and his favorite team. If you're listening to Saquon, it's still his favorite team. Well, they have to step up with the draft capital. But the Eagles shouldn't feel obligated, aren't obligated to do any of that. The reason why it works out this way is because it seems like a natural fit. The Patriots have a need for the wide receiver. There's a relationship there with AJ and the head coach. It's a out-of-conference team that isn't a threat to the Eagles trying to get to the Super Bowl, right? And so if the Patriots want to come up with the draft capital, which is the other thing I agree with you, I wouldn't be trading him there for a fifth-round draft pick. But the idea that this should be at the top of the Eagles' priority list in moving AJ is getting him somewhere where he's happy because it was his childhood team. It's just ridiculous. Listen, every time I move you up the ladder, in my rankings around here, and I think we're sort of getting closer to being in lockstep. You do something like this that just makes me say, nope, that's why I got to knock him down a peg or two. He's not ready yet. You couldn't resist putting that tweet out this morning for no reason whatsoever. You know it's the most ridiculous thing to be suggesting, and the Eagles fans don't care about that at all. At all. Eagles fans don't care about that, and neither should the Eagles.
So I think Eagles fans should care about it. I think they should want to see AJ do well. He has helped them win a Super Bowl, go to another one. As far as why I feel this way, maybe it's the respect I have for you as a former player. Like, I know how much work these guys put in, to get to this point in his career. And if AJ has an opportunity to play for his childhood team at a point in his career where he is still an elite player, I think it would be, again, a classy move by the Eagles to help that happen. So, I do think the Eagles
it would be a classy move by the Eagles. I'm just saying they don't need to do that.
Well, let me ask you this, Eliot. Doesn't the onus go to the Patriots? Shouldn't they say, we're willing to overpay because this person wants to come to us, rather than the Eagles acquiescing?
Yes.
And isn't it at that point on the Patriots to pay more because they're actually getting the player?
Yeah, I think the Patriots should have to pay. I'm not disputing that. Again, if the Ravens offer a first and the Patriots offer a fourth or a third, then I understand that. But if it's close and, it's even, or if, it's marginal, then I think where AJ wants to go should absolutely matter here. He's accomplished enough in his career to have say in where he is going. And I also think there's benefits from the Eagles' perspective. If they can go to other agents and players and say, look, when AJ wanted out, we worked with him to get him where he wanted to go. It matters to us how our players feel. That can help you in the long run. Like last year when they gave that ridiculous money to Saquon for no reason, part of the reason was because they felt, other agents notice this, other players notice if you play well. That's what they felt the benefit
Saquon deserved that.
So does AJ. AJ's done more for the Eagles than Saquon has over the past 4 years. He's been here longer.
From a quantity standpoint, maybe so, because he's been here longer. But from a quality standpoint, in 1 year of Saquon being here, we won the Super Bowl. And he rushed for. I know he was there. I saw it.
Yeah.
And the passing game was the 29th. The passing game was the 29th ranked passing offense in the league, and AJ wasn't happy about that. So to tell me, as far as the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, Saquon had more to do with that than AJ did. And that's no slight to AJ. Let's not act like Saquon wasn't the best player in football in 2024.
I agree, but AJ has done more for the Eagles overall because he's been here longer.
Because he's been here longer. Sure, that's not the argument, though. I wouldn't argue that. I'm not arguing. Of course, he's been here longer. I understand that. I'm just saying the impact and the fact that he's been unhappy the last 3 years and has expressed that through the course of a season when the team is actually winning games. You can also say in 2023 or 2025 that contributed to where the team ultimately ended.
So
that's fair. Is that not fair to say?
So I definitely think AJ has been part of the drama with the team. No question about it, right? I agree with you there. But I also think, for the most part, AJ has handled this relatively well. When you consider the frustration he's probably felt this year the past 3 years with the passing game, yes, there's been tweets and there's been not talking to media. I'm not saying he's handled it perfectly. I'm sure behind the scenes there's been moments, but ultimately he has handled taking a back seat, right, to a degree most number one.
And he's been rewarded for it. He's been rewarded. I'm sorry his yardage and his stats aren't satisfying enough, but he's been rewarded. He plays for a first-class organization that's championship-oriented, and he's won a championship. He's not doing charity work. He's not playing for the Cleveland Browns, and where he has no help around him. Yeah. AJ's profile and career has been upgraded and spotlighted because he's in midnight green, playing with the Philadelphia Eagles.
But AJ has helped the Eagles as much as the Eagles have helped
Sure,
him.
he has. What I'm saying, the one is an established entity already. I'm not saying AJ didn't contribute. But for some reason, this is the only player on the team that we somehow bend the rules, make excuses, come up with reasons to justify actions when you lash out, and you're not being a team player. I don't get this. I don't get that. I just don't understand it. We do this. I understand AJ's a great player. We've had great players here before. And we're going to have great players here moving forward. To compromise who you are and what you stand for a player, that's not what anybody in this city would be champion for the Eagles. They would not be saying that. They would say the team is bigger than any individual. But for some reason, what I'm hearing is AJ is sacrificed for the team. He's done so much for the team. The team owes him this. He's done that. What are we talking about? You make him sound like some sympathy case.
He is. He kind of is.
I don't
know what to say. On any other team, he'd be putting up way bigger numbers. We all know that. DeVonta has sacrificed just as much as AJ have. Like Dallas,
and they've been rewarded financially and with a championship. They've been rewarded.
Yes, they have been
for their sacrifice. They've been rewarded for their sacrifice.
Yeah, and the point I'm making is the sacrifices they have made, all of them, I think the receivers have handled it well. And so now when AJ feels it's time to move on, I think the Eagles should help him get to where he wants to go for what he has done for them. And again, not giving him away. But ultimately, I think it would be a classy move by the organization to put him in a place he wants to go because of what he has done.
As long as I get what I want.
Yeah, you have to get a good return.
Yeah, as long as I get, I'm not worried about you and your classy move. The Eagles shouldn't be worried about being viewed some classy organization. They're already a classy organization.
Yeah, but I think it's the right thing
to do.
They're
already a classy organization. They're one of the top teams out there that plenty of players would love to come and play here. They've done that. They've proven that. They win every year. They give big money to their own players. They give big money to free agents. They've already established that with agents. They don't need to do AJ any favors and lessen their chances of building a championship team and acquiring assets to somehow placate agents out there. Agents are going to go where the money is at. The Eagles spend money. They spend money, so agents are going to always want their players to come here. The Eagles spend money. What are you talking about? AJ doesn't hold the Eagles' future in his hands.
I don't think they have to do anything. I'm saying it's the right thing to do. I think the right thing to do by AJ for what he's done for the organization is to help him get to a place he wants to go if all things are equal. Again, wouldn't trade him for a fifth-round pick.
And like Spike said, the Patriots should have to overpay for that. They should have to pay.
They're going to.
I mean, it sounds like they're going to overpay.
Okay, well, then there we go. Then everybody's happy. AJ gets to be happy. You get to feel great that the Eagles did a classy move, and you can feel good about that. We'll feel great with our return. That's the only way we're going to feel great, Eliot. What we get in return is what's going to make us happy, not what makes AJ happy.
Everyone's going to feel good when it's announced that there was like a first and a second, or a first and a third and a player, right? But the minute AJ is not on the roster, that is a bad day. That's a bad day for the Eagles. Like the victory lapping that'll take place when they get a first round pick.
Nobody's taking a victory lap. We're just making sure we're not giving up a player of great value for nothing. He wants to be traded.
Agreed.
Most of this city wants AJ here. They don't want him traded. He wants to be traded, reportedly.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm saying getting a first-round pick is a good return now, but there is going to be a big hole on the roster when AJ.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Let me ask you this, Eliot. Do you think it is just assumed that if they trade AJ, that DeVonta becomes target number one, or do you think it's possible that the Eagles make a move, whether it's in free agency or with a trade, to get a player that would be considered a number one wide receiver, or do you think it just automatically goes to DeVonta?
I think it will be DeVonta because he's been here for a long time, but I think they will add something of substance at receiver. Like, I think they could draft one for sure, but it would surprise me if they used a first-round pick on a receiver that then is the answer to the AJ replacement. I think they will go out and they will make a trade. There's definitely interesting receivers you can go out and try to make big-time offers for. You look at the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr., the Jaguars, Brian Thomas Jr. Like, maybe you can offer a second for one of them or a first. Well, they're going to need a receiver if they trade AJ.
No, they don't. No, they got DeVonta Smith.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
They'll draft another receiver. My point is they don't need to go out and get another guy who wants targets, who's going to want to get paid when we already got a number one wide receiver on the team. That's the last thing they need to do.
Well,
they need to go get a young player. They need to get a young player that they can develop and groom under affordable contract that wants to come in here and prove himself and that will take the targets and the catches that he gets, keep his mouth shut, and be happy to be a Philadelphia Eagle. And that's what they need. They got DeVonta Smith here, who is very capable of being the number one wide receiver when it comes to production. Will it look differently than it did with AJ? Sure. DeVonta's a different style receiver. But as far as catching the ball, when you throw it to him, production-wise, numbers-wise, he can put up the same numbers, if not more, because he's not splitting targets with someone else who they have to force the ball to. That's the last thing they need to do is go out and get another receiver that's demanding the football.
Yes, I completely disagree. I mean, I think they should absolutely go out and get another stud receiver. Like, it doesn't bother me that
in the draft
wants the football.
As long as he's a stud in the draft, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but you don't know if that's a stud. You can use the first round pick on someone, and it could be DeVonta or it could be Jalen Reagor, right? Like,
first of all, I want a lineman. I want a lineman in the first round. I'll take the receiver.
Yeah.
I'll take the receiver in the second round.
Yeah, so I agree. I think an offensive line is more important in the first round. But the point I'm making is if you lose AJ, you have to go out and add something of substance. You can't just address it in the draft. Like Romeo Doubs, for example. Okay. I think he would be a nice acquisition, right? Like he's a good
I'll take
player.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not in the same stratosphere as AJ. Like,
he's not going to demand the ball.
But I'm okay with my players demanding the ball. DeVonta wants the ball. Dallas Goedert wants the ball. Saquon wants the ball. They all want the ball. AJ just does a slightly worse job of hiding.
There's a difference between wanting the ball and demanding the ball.
So I think they all want the ball the same way.
Yeah,
like I agree, AJ handles it worse.
I said demanding the ball. That's where the problem comes in. That when you got to change the offense up from one half to the other to make sure the other guy gets the ball.
So we're okay with next year building the offense around DeVonta and getting him the ball.
Hell yeah, the passing offense? Yes.
So why is that bad to do with AJ over these past few years? Why is it an issue when AJ wants what we're going to give DeVonta next year?
Well, you got to ask AJ that because AJ was the one who had a problem with it. We're all happy winning football games. As fans, we're all happy winning football games. It wasn't a problem for us till you start losing games. It's a problem for him. It's a problem for him sharing the targets and the catches and those things, right?
Yeah, so what's interesting to me, though, about how it feels like the past few years, it was a win's a win, right? Like, no matter how they do it, a win's a win.
I'm always a wins guy.
Yeah,
always.
But it feels, and I'm not saying you, but it feels like it has shifted this offseason to, well, actually, we need to win with a different offense. Or actually, we need to run like, I'd be fine if they ran it back with AJ and Patullo and ran the same offense and just kept trying to win the way they won before.
This is when you and I were in a Hornets. This is when you and I were together, but somehow you split from me.
But Eliot,
crazy. I mean, just my respect for football players. I don't know what to tell you.
I think you are misconstruing what they're doing. They think their chances of winning are lower because they're not scoring enough points. So it is not about winning by scoring lots of points. It is the more you score, the better chance you have to win games. So they didn't score at the level that they thought the personnel should score at last year. So they want to score more. It's not that they are changing their philosophy that a win isn't a win. They want to win more, and if you score more, you will win more.
I agree with that. They've scored the fourth most points in the NFL over the past 5 years with the offense that they've run. So I know that scoring equates to wins. But I think it's overreactionary to now all of a sudden there's this obsession with scheme from everybody, like what they're going to run, like all that stuff. The way they have won over the past 5 or 4 years worked, right? Everyone had a bad year last year. The offensive line was bad. Like AJ didn't have a great year, right? Like Saquon. Everyone had a bad year. It feels overreactionary to me to say we need to completely change how we do things. Now, to your point, maybe there will be a benefit of it, right? Maybe the passing game will be better. Maybe they will score more points, and obviously that leads to winning. But the point I'm making is they've won a lot of games the way they play football over the past 4 years. But now it feels like, everyone's like they have to make this change to try it, and I just disagree with that.
Yeah, I think you doing the points of the last 4 years is a cute little trick, but it also...
Well, it's not a trick, it's just a stat.
Well, it's a stat, but it does not give proper context. And the context is
this. What other context could there be? It's points over 4 years.
I am talking.
All right, go ahead.
In 2022, the offense was very good. They went to the Super Bowl. In 2023, they scored points, but the offense was not as good. In 2024, their passing game again was not as good. They had an out-of-body experience with the running back and the offensive line. And in 2025, the offense once again took a step back and was not as good. You keep saying that we won games that way so we can continue to do things that way, ignores the outlier of 2024 and the fact that they have had trouble having consistent offense otherwise in both 2023 and 2025. Like it's just a fact. Like you see the way that it's trending. But they did.
I don't think they did have trouble with scoring points. Their issues with turnovers, right? Like they moved the ball. I think they were 8th in points that year. Like they moved the ball fine. The issue they had that year was turnovers. But in terms of moving the ball, it worked. You're right. Last year the offense was not good. I think that's because the offensive line didn't play well. Like I think, full stop, that's why. Like Jalen also part of it. But if they just get a better offensive line next year, I don't think they need to do all these.
But you cannot bank on having the best offensive line in football every year. It just doesn't happen. You're going to deal with injuries. Every team does. Like the San Francisco 49ers had injuries all over the football team last year. We have had an offensive line that has been unreal the last 4 years. You can't bank on that always happening. And the fact that they've had the talent they've had, and you talk about 8th in the league in points like it's some sort of parade you should throw for them, being 8th in the league in points. They have 2 high-level wide receivers, a high-level tight end, and a high-level quarterback, according to you, and a high-level offensive line. To be 8th in the league in points is not good enough.
So I disagree with that. Like I would say over the stretch of the time they've had with the talent you're talking about, they've clearly gotten the most out of it.
That's ridiculous. They've gotten the most out of their talent?
Yes. How have they not? They've been to 2 Super Bowls. They win double-digit games every year. Their offense, again, has scored the 4th most points over the past 5 years or 4 years or whatever it is. Like, they have clearly gotten the most out of their talent.
Okay, what if you do the last 3 years, Eliot? The last 3 years of points.
I don't have the stat on the last.
Well, because I can tell you they're probably like 9th or 10th? Do you think that's getting the most out of the offense over the last 3 years? As you have 2 number one two receivers being paid $30 million a year, a quarterback being paid $50 million a year, and probably the highest offensive line as far as cost goes in football. You think like being 9th or 10th as far as points is good for the last 3 years?
If they are 9th or 10th, then
they were 8th in points in 2023. They were what? They were like 11th or 12th in points in 2025, and in 2024 they were 7th. So
they're probably 8th or 9th. I would agree.
And you think that is getting as much as you can out of the personnel?
I think over the past 3 years they have gotten the most out of the personnel for the most part that you could ask for. I agree. Are there certain aspects they could be better? Of course, they could pass the ball better, probably. Yeah. No, but not like points. Because again, if you want to talk about. But if you want to talk about contact with stats, we can do that too. Like in 24, they burned a lot of second halves out because they were up. Like, I think of that Ravens game where they controlled the ball for 14 minutes. Like,
that happens to every good team, Elliot. The Seattle Seahawks stomped teams this year, and they were third in the league in the points, and they had the best defense in football. You don't think they were up in the second half?
Teams this year? I would be interested in seeing that, if they did, or if they won a bunch of
the Seattle Seahawks? Yes, they stomped teams.
Okay.
Well, they had Elliott. They had the third best offense and the best defense. But chances are and I think they had the best point differential in football. So yeah, they probably stomped teams.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an outlier. You're right.
Okay.
They did it. But I'm
it's
saying,
an
like,
outlier.
if you want to talk about over the past 3 years, to say they've not gotten the most out of the talent with the games they've won, I just think is crazy.
Okay, all right. You can get the Go Birds podcast wherever you get your podcast. I love you, Elliot. Thank you. To say that they've gotten the most out of their talent on offense the last 3 years is crazy.
AJ wouldn't be asking out if he felt
well,
that
listen,
way.
I handled the first 12 minutes of that call.
Yeah.
You took on the last 12 minutes.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we love him.
All right.
That's why we love him, man.
We're at Chickies and Pete's in South
One
Philly.
of a kind.
Chickies and Pete's seafood boil Sundays. Every Sunday, buy one delicious Uncle George seafood boil, and they'll take one and dump it on Elliot's head.
You know, he's the relative that at the gathering, we're all there early, right? We've already gotten to that Big Mama's house.
Yep.
He rolls up. We're like, oh, here he comes.
Here comes Elliot. Here comes Elliot.
Here comes the SP. We already know. Give me a drink. Here he comes.